am Christy Ogle, the host of the Christy and Max Ogle podcast. And today's podcast is Handyman 10X Secrets. On Tuesdays, we interview a handyman from across the United States. And it is a little chilly where he is at today in Delaware. Stephen from All Around Maintenance. Stephen, welcome.
Welcome. It's good to be here. Nice. Thanks to have me.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you. So tell us your story. How did you get in the handyman business?
Well, back in 2008, I was, the whole market crash thing. I was doing testing and inspections for commercial. And since market crashed and everything, I went over into doing maintenance for a big company. And stuck with that for about 5 years. In that 5 years time, I decided I want to open my own company and kind of liked what I was doing. So decided to be a handyman, used $500, got myself a tool set and said, okay, got some business cards, started handing them out.
Cool. So I want to definitely bring some attention to a golden nugget that you said when you were explaining how you got in the handyman business. You took $500 and you started your business.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't cost a ton of money. You don't have to go out there and buy $20,000-$30,000 worth of tools.
No, but I mean, it helped. I had a truck and a trailer, so
Yeah. It's important to have a truck as a handyman.
It's helpful.
Yeah.
But I've seen on people use anything and everything. I've seen one guy's using a little XB, just strap the boards on the top and away you go.
Do you want to know what we had when we started our handyman business?
What's that?
A 4-door Toyota Corolla, and it was black. And we started mowing lawns. We don't do it anymore, but we did anything to make money back in those days. And you wouldn't believe that you could fit a lawnmower in the back end of the Toyota Corolla. I mean, you had to strap down the hood or whatever, but yeah, the things you could put in a Toyota Corolla.
It's funny you say that because I'm all about having different vehicles, and I can't tell you how many, just a ton over the years. And actually, funny you should say Toyota Corolla, because that is one that I have used. And it was like a 1991 or something like that. And it was amazing. I mean, I was halfway tempted to just like build some racks out of like 2x4s or something, just kind of screw them to the roof so I can fit more stuff on top. But you would be amazed how much stuff you can fit in the back seat and the trunk of that thing. It was amazing. I was just flabbergasted.
Yep. So what did you do in a former life before you started in maintenance and handyman in 08?
Well, like I was saying, I was basically testing and inspections for commercial construction, geological surveys and stuff like that. I was a lab rat. It was great. Basically, for commercial construction, you'd go out and before anybody touches site, you'll do some soil borings and just to see what kind of building you can actually put on that land, what the soil can hold up. And so we check that because geologically, we're in a completely different area than you guys. It's all like a silt deposit from the glaciers where we're at because we have, the Appalachians, which are, right around the corner. And that's pretty much what developed us, was all the runoff and everything from the Appalachians. So it's very silty, sandy, and some clay around here. And that's it. There's no like rocks.
Wow.
That's
different than us.
Huh?
That is totally different than us.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of water around us too. So it's all marshy at the same time too. So there's a lot of water inside that as well. So like I said, first thing we do, soil borings. And then kind of second thing, we would kind of monitor is when they grub a site, which is basically take all the topsoil off, get it down to good building dirt, and
Uh-huh.
then build up your building pad. So at that point in time, I would take check density of the soil, make sure that they're putting it on the right compaction and in the light, in the correct layers, no more than like a foot, et cetera, et cetera. It's been 10, 12 years since then, so forgive me if I get something wrong. But let's see, after that, go build, dig out for your footers, put your blocks on, concrete and blocks on, and then building pad, structural steel, brickwork, and then that's about the time I would leave site when everybody comes in to actually start putting everything else together. When the building's done, that's skeleton structure, everything's there. That's when I left. So I
Wow.
never got to see the buildings get completed. It was horrible, but I would work on some pretty big mainline buildings, and it was pretty cool.
Awesome. So what made you decide to leave the maintenance business and just start your own handyman business?
I got fired.
You got fired,
My,
huh?
yeah, boss didn't like me. He was afraid I was going to take his job, which is really funny because I didn't want his job because it was too much headache, too much stress, and I was like, no, dude, I'm good. But I was better than he was, like a lot. So he was afraid for his job, and so yeah, he set me up, and I fell into his trap, and I got canned. I was like, felt bad for a couple days. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, I'd already had my business going for about 2 years because
Uh-huh.
I did part time for about 2 years, starting my business, trying to build up, clientele and whatnot. And I was like, well, screw it. I mean, I didn't start this business for nothing. And yeah, just kind of full time 40 hours for the last 7 years. So
Wow. So it was a blessing.
it was, I don't know, you call it what you want.
Do you enjoy the handyman business?
I do. I enjoy fixing stuff, and you go in and it's a wreck and you get done and it's amazing, and then you tell the people, I'm sorry, I want to live here now.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of those times where you get done and it's just like it looks so amazing. You're like, wow, at least I get the pictures. I get to keep the pictures and see what it used to look, or see what it looks like now. And but the wonderful thing is every time you get done, that's the best it's ever going to look.
Uh-huh. True.
So it's all right. I get to see it at its worst. I get to see it at its best.
So in Texas, I bet our handyman jobs are a little bit different than your handyman jobs in Delaware. What primarily do you do in Delaware that brings in the income for you?
I tell everybody, if you can break it, I can fix it. It pretty much sums it up. In my opinion, there can't be too much different between what you guys do and what I do. My opinion is because, I mean, if your toilet breaks, you say, "Yo, fix it," and somebody comes and they fix it, or whatever. But I tell people all the time, my specialty is small jobs. What we want to do is, if you break it, we want to fix it. That's really what it comes down to. We don't want to remodel anymore. We don't want to, you know, we don't want to replace your roof. We want to fix your roof. We don't want to replace your siding. We want to fix your siding. So that's, if you got some leaky windows or whatever, all right, we'll remove and replace a window, but that's pretty much simple stuff right there. But we're not trying to get into, big remodel projects or anything like that. We really just want to be a true handyman service.
I've seen a lot of handyman businesses where they start chasing the big paychecks. And I'm not going to lie, we did it in the beginning of our business. We went from small jobs and then we went to remodels. But when you go into that, you have so many change orders that you're like, it's really not that profitable. Where the profitability is in those little jobs that nobody else will touch.
I love it. That's true. And I just kind of noticed that, like myself, like last year or something like that. I'm like, wow, this is how come I didn't do this? I mean, I said I'm a handyman, but I never really went after handyman projects. I've always went after, subcon or contractor, type projects. And, you know, I can do it. It's not a problem for me, but the profitability, like you said, it's just not there.
Yeah.
There's so much change.
And also, there's a psychology with a customer. Like, you might tell them this is a 6-week project. On day 6, they're going, "When are you getting out of my kitchen? When are you getting out of my bathroom?" Like, we told you it was a 6-week project, but they just having somebody else in the home. The psychology of the customer is you should be gone. Like, I gave you the money, it should be done. You should be gone. Whereas there's this process you have to go through, and it can make it real tough on handyman or remodelers.
Yeah. Um, I completely understand what you're saying. I have some clients that have been like that, but for the most part, I just tell them straight up, like, look, I'm going to take over your house. This is my domain now.
Yeah.
And you really got to set that expectation right from the beginning. And I don't care what it is you do, whether it's handyman, whether it's, anything at all, you need to set the expectation right straight from the beginning and say, look, this is what's going to happen by
Yep.
hiring me, by calling me out. This is what's going to happen. And in the meantime, it's going to suck to be you. But in the end, you're going to love it. And if you don't love it, you tell me and I make sure you love it. It's just the way it is. But that's why you call me and you say, hey, Steve, this is what I want. And that's what you get.
So, what are some resources that have helped you along the way to build your handyman business?
I got to give it up to Master Networks. um, that has been a key to growing my own mental knowledge, my own, growing me mentally, as a business owner, as a business person. Um, that has, it's done a ton for me. And I can't speak highly enough for them, for the networks that I've grown and built. And that has been for growing, and that's been, number one. Number two, I like to pretend that the logo that I did catches a lot of people's eye. um don't put all your eggs in one basket and say, okay, well, I'm going to just do everything on, Yelp or Home Advisor or this or that or the other thing. Around here we have Angie's List, and I'm not the kind of person that's going to pay for leads and stuff, but if there's a free opportunity, I'm putting my information out there. I claim my Google site, I claim, this, that, and the other thing, or whatever it is. Um, and just whatever I can do to get my name out there and, just do good by the people that you work for. And, I'm not the kind of person that asks for reviews. So I have very minimal reviews out there. But what I have are extremely good, or, well, there's one lady that wasn't too happy. So she just kind of trolled me for a little bit, but other than that,
It happens.
but just treat people good, do what you got to do.
So, you said Master Networks. What is Master Networks?
It is a network. It's a group of individuals who, it's basically a networking group. Uh, they give you just kind of information, on a weekly basis, just to help grow you as a business owner, or even help make you a leader in your own field, just to help. It's kind of a mindset. It helps you grow. They have different um, training tidbits, I guess, you can call it, every week, where they just say, hey, why don't we hit, hit this discussion, and talk about this, talk about that. And everybody in the room generally some some smart individuals, uh, very like-minded, where you got to have that entrepreneur kind of mindset to be able to free your mind so that you can absorb the knowledge that's actually being given.
That's
Does that make
awesome.
sense?
It does make sense. That was a
Oh,
great explanation of what Master Networks is also.
thank you.
So who has kind of inspired you along the journey? Do you have anybody that's influenced you or that you follow to help you build your handyman business?
Right now, I follow more of a spirit. And I say that because my uncle, when I was young, he built his own company and he ended up building two different companies. They were both pretty successful when he passed away.
Uh-huh.
And being that he passed away, I want to follow in his footsteps and I want to be able to do what he has done. So for me, that's kind of why my guidance right there is, I know he's looking down and I know I feel like he can communicate with me, or, through this, that, or the other thing or whatever. Maybe he'll push me in the right direction, in my opinion. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But, for me, I like to think that way.
Awesome. What's one common myth that people have about the handyman profession that you'd like to debunk?
I don't know. Just call me and I'll show you how it's all supposed to be done. Well, everybody else sucks.
I love it. Now, if I could step into, or if you could step into my shoes and ask you a question, what question would you ask yourself?
Well, that's just a messed up question right there, anyway.
Deep, right?
What question should I ask myself that you might want to know? I got nothing for you. I'm sorry. Um, I'd probably say I'd probably ask maybe something about family, et cetera, et cetera. It's not a handyman question, but I got four kids, so they're awesome, they're amazing, they're all a pain in my butt. Um, my daughter she rules the roost. I have one daughter, three boys, and
Wow.
yeah, so she rules the roost. She's 17, and the oldest is 19, and the youngest is 13. And she is my oldest is a spitting image of me. She is a spitting attitude of me.
Wow. Wow. Has your
So
handyman business been able to afford you to be more involved in their lives? Because I know a lot of dads, they work, 68 hours a week. They see the kids to, kiss them goodnight for bed. So has having your own business allowed you to spend more time and being more involved in your children's lives?
sometimes. Sometimes it does, and other times it pulls me away because running your own business, whether it be handyman or whatever it is, um, any business owner will agree. When you're first starting out, there you have a lot of time obligations that you feel you must fulfill. You have to go do this. You have to go do that. Um, and it's not that much. It's you need to grow mentally to be able to change that. But to be able to say, basically, my kids are all pretty much grown up now. I have missed a lot of time, but at the same time, I've been able to have a lot of time with them as well.
Makes sense.
It's a mix and match. I've always said Sundays are just for me, just for the family, period. So I can't say I've missed a lot of time with them or anything like that, but there's a lot of nights where I wake up, or a lot of days, I guess I'd wake up, send them to school, get home, they're already in bed. I think that's pretty much any job you have.
Now, how can our listeners connect with you?
All Around Maintenance LLC at gmail.com.
Awesome. And before I get my handyman off the phone, I always like to ask them a good, fun question to end the interview on. Stephen, if you were on a desert island and stranded there, and all of your human needs were met, what two luxury items would you take and why?
What two luxury items do I get to keep with me?
Yep, you get to take them with you.
I want a lawn chair with an umbrella, which is one item, please,
That's one item.
and
Yeah, give it to you.
and alcohol.
And out. Well,
I'm
Stephen,
good.
it has been a joy interviewing you on our podcast. I can't wait to hear how your business has exploded a year from now. Thank you so much.
Sure, no problem. Thank you.
We
You have a
appreciate it.
wonderful day. All right,
Thank
bye
you
now.
for listening to the Sometimes Spouse podcast, the Christy and Max podcast with Stephen from All Around Maintenance in Delaware. We appreciate you and look forward to hearing how you 10x your business with the Handyman Secrets. That was great.